Okay, all right. Go to create and make sure you're in the polygon primitive section. And let's create a plane, right? Just drag and drop to create a plane. And make sure to zero out all the transformations to put the plane in the origin. And just round these numbers. So like 15. And let's just kill the grid. Now we've got a very simple plane in the center. Okay, just go to Xgene, create description, make sure the plane is selected, then click on description. And let's choose placing and shaping, guys. Just create. Okay. Click on this icon which is placing, let you place the guides. I'm gonna place a few guides. Okay. You can place as many as you want, something like that. Okay, if you control click, you can move the guides around even after you create it. Anyway, now click on refresh to see the primitives. As you can see, let's just shape the primitives a little bit. For example, let's change the density from 1 to something like 5. It's some denser look, and then the length, let's change the length to something like maybe 5 again, and the width to half that amount, 0.05, and give it some taper with then some taper starts. So that's what we've got, and here we go. Now let's go to the modifiers. Okay, now let's talk about the modifiers. If we click on create, we can apply any of these modifiers to this primitive, and each will have some kind of effect. For example, the simplest one to understand is clumping. If you just click on clumping and choose OK, we'll get some kind of error because we don't have any map to or guys to create this clumping effect. You have to set up maps, and we have a few options here to set up the map. In fact, we have two options in general, which including the load. It will be three options, but generally there are two options. One of the options is to generate. If you click on it, you will get these yellow guides. So the hair will be clumped from these points, or you can use guides. And if you have guides in this case, that will be much easier because you'll get clumping from these guides positions. Let's choose guide and choose save. Now that's what we have got. Now we can change the parameters of this clumping. For example, you can say the clumping comes to 0 at the tip. You can change it to a little bit higher, not 0, as you can see here. And also we've got a few options here. For example, you can give it some variance. You can volumize it, give it some kind of shape. Just click on volumize. You can see some kind of shape. I like volumize usually. You can even change this shape as you like. For example, can add shape you want. Also, we can copy the effect or cut effect. Let's just choose the cut effect, such as the cut to 1. You can see, but I actually don't like this effect to be like that. I prefer to use the cut modifier. I'll change it back to 0. We have the noise effect. I usually don't like this. I prefer to use the noise modifier. And let's just apply. You can apply as many clumping as you want. Let's just apply one more clump. Just click on this, go to clumping and choose OK. Again, go to the setup maps. You can choose guides, or we can choose generate. Okay, let's just this time choose generate. So we have more small clumps. Choose save. So this is what we've got. We get in a very big clump, and each clump are being also clumped to smaller ones. Can increase the clumping to half that value, so that will not be fully clumped, half clumped. Let's just choose 0.7, and here we go. So we go to quite. If you want to see the clumping, you have region map color, so you can see each arc a clump, which is a color visualization. Okay. Also, we can apply noise. Just go to add one more modifier. Let's choose noise. Okay. This is noise. Okay, you can see we've got some kind of noise, especially at the top, because at the very bottom there's no noise. At the top we have got the most amount of noise. And let's decrease the noise, and we can change the frequency and the magnitude of that noise. For example, we can change the frequency to something like 0.01 or 1. You can change the magnitude. Okay, and I believe the magnitude is the amount of that noise, and the frequency is the size of that noise. Anyway, let's just change it back to something like 2. And if you cannot see the noise clearly in your viewport, with the primitives, make sure to change the modifier CV count to something maybe 20. As you can see, the noise is so clear now. And the preview section, let's just change the preview color to some color like black. Okay, it's much easier to see. Now, if you go back to the modifiers, let's change the magnitude back to 1. Can change the frequency to something like 2. Okay, a little bit more frequency. Okay, so we've got this shape very quickly, and the beauty of this, you can go back to any of these modifiers, usually calculated from bottom to up, and go back to any of these modifiers and okay, we can play with it. In this case, let's just okay, leave it as it is. All right, and let's choose one of the very most used modifiers. This is the anim wire. Yeah, at least I use this, I think, the most. and it is used for animation. We just click on it, we'll get some error. Again, we don't have map and guides um, to make this happen. So this AnimWire is similar to the, if you go to the primitives in the guide animation, if you just turn animation on, create some mirror system, then we say like the curve is attached to this, then we've got the animation. This section, if we go to the modifiers, we have more options. For example, we can specify that the usually default is the clumping. We can specify that in a specific region we want the animation to happen. Let's just choose clumping in this case, and create a map. And when do you want to create the maps for the guys to make the animation out? Okay, it's like rigging. You can call this generate map as a rigging process before animating. So when do you want the bones for these clumping to appear? You can choose guides, so that will appear from the guides, or you can choose generate. As you can see, I will get these will be moved, and the clumping will be linked to this, and they will move along with that. I usually like guides again, because we have guides, and when these guides move, these here also will move too. And in the control map and for the map that I just want to have one map for both of these, and just save. But before applying this guy, I usually like to just cancel for now. I really like to go to File, Save Scene, and save scene as to any name you want, because this AnimWire is a little bit problematic. Sometimes it will corrupt the scene, so it's better to save it before applying it. So it is set to guides, and with everything at default, make sure this one it is 1, and choose create. Now this time it works. Now if we go to this section here, and now if you choose preview wires, we've got the wires. Okay, as you can see, each wire comes from the it has the same position as the guides. Okay, if you just go to, now we have to go to, after previewing it, now we've got these guides, or these wires you can call it, and just create hair system. If you click on the create hair system, make sure all these are checked. If you just go to reset, these two are unchecked by default. Just check them to collide with the mesh and snap curve base to surface. And we've got paint, effects, or curves, the same as before. Let's just make curves as easier to control. Just make dynamics. Now if you just create the end dynamic here, we've got also the nuclear and the curves. So if you just look at this, now we've got about 48 curves. Now if we just select all the curves here, you can see we've got about 48 curves. Select all the curves and choose attach to hair system, and we've got the AnimWire works fine. There is no error whatsoever. We just play it. It looks like doesn't work. If we just refresh it and play it, still it doesn't look like it works. Just make sure to select all these options when you attach to the curve. Now if I just play it, now it works just fine. Okay, And we can also apply other effects, like for example the wind. In the wind we can find wind, okay, the last one. Okay, so we can see that can change the stiffness to something like 0.5, and the contrast maybe to something like 1, with shear strength to maybe 0.5. So let's just look at that. And if you think they're not holding well, just go to this section here, just go to attributor, and you can just increase the sub steps to something like 10 by 10, to be much more accurate. Also, if you go to this is the nuclear effect, and change the intensity, and so this is the gravity. If you go to this section, the hair system, in fact, so this is the hair system, and this is the nuclear. Okay, one thing which is also cool, you can see some of these hairs usually intersect with the ground. Now select the ground, go to the pipeline, maybe Alembic cache, and make sure to export selection to Alembic. Okay, maybe choose a place to save it. I'm gonna go with 0.11, very quick name, and throughout the whole animation it will play through. Okay, and after that I go back to the XGen modifiers. Let's this time apply a collision modifier. So just select, choose collision. In the collision modifier, you have to select a mesh, and the mesh should be in Alembic. I want to collide with this plane, so just go to open and choose desktop. Just click on it. There we go. Now you play through it. As you can see, we have the least amount of penetration. Okay, and you can apply more effects. Let's just, in this case, to the attributor, in the gravity, let's just change it to something like 2. As you can see, moves down much slowly. Alright, and let's apply one more modifier, the XGen modifiers tab. Go to the modifiers, we've got the cut, just choose OK. Now we've got some random amount here, just click on here, it randoms from 0 to 0.2, and change it to 1 to maybe just choose 0, in fact, to 4. Okay, choose save. In fact, don't save it, just choose accept. As you can see, now if we just split. That's what we've got. Excellent. All right, so we've got quite a lot of um, modifiers, and modifiers are really cool, especially like this one. So if you just click on it, and we can change the count scale, make them very twisted. Okay, if you want to delete the modifier, just right click on it, choose delete. You can duplicate the modifier, or you can save the modifier. You can do all these again here. Okay, so that's it.